Good morning, friends. Hope you're having a great day. We're doing good here, and I thought I would make Carol a pecan pie. Now, I have made pecan pies for you with a frozen pie shell, and that works great. But I wanted to cook it in my iron skillet this time. And I'm going to use the recipe that I have shared with you. Over a year ago, Brenda Gant was at Mark Lowry's house, and they taught her how to make a pie crust in the pie plate, and they called it Pie Paws crust. Pie Paws pie crust. I've made it, and it's delicious. All right. You're going to put a cup and a half of all-purpose flour in your pie pan, or in my case, my iron skillet. And to that, I'm going to put a half of a teaspoon of salt. Somebody asked me one time, why do I keep all these together? That's the reason. They're all together. I don't have to search in my drawer for a half a teaspoon. It's already on here. All right, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I've measured that out. 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. That's what I'm using. And 3.5 tablespoons of milk. Got that measured out. Now, we're going to mix all this together in the pie plate, or electric skillet, not electric skillet, black skillet, in my case. I like not having to roll it out. Try not to scrape the bottom, because I know that gets on somebody's nerves. But I'll have to some. But you can see it's coming together. And I remember her saying, if it's too dry, add just a little bit more milk. And if it's too wet, add a little bit more flour. I think mine's going to be perfect. Now, I'm going to just see how pretty that is right there. Don't think I need to add anything. Now what you do is you're going to mash it out to the edges. Mine is not going to come up to the top of this, but it is going to make a lip. Y'all, I've made this pie crust several times, and it's a very good pie crust. I made it when I made my coconut pie. Now, I can remember them showing Brenda, you can use this if you need something. If you hear something beeping, it's my dishwasher. It was on, and it's loud. So I turned it off, or opened the door, so I could just go back when I finished videoing and close the door. But it's beeping to let me know that the door's open. But that's not as bad as it being loud, I can tell you that. All right, you just want to get it about as even inside as you can. And I do want it to come up. I like this because I'm not going to have to worry about covering my edges. You know, when you pull the pie crust up to the top of your pie plate and you crimp it, you know, to make it pretty and all that. Well, then that part will cook faster, And you do need to put a cover over it, or that edge will brown too quick. All right, I will be back in just a minute and we'll mix up pecan pie.
What are you going to do right now?
What am I going to do right now? I'm going to get all my things together for my pecan pie.
Does that go in the oven now?
No,
Okay.
it does not.
Okay.
And if this was, thank you for asking. If this was a crust that you weren't going to have to cook the pie part, you would cook it first. And what you would do is you take a fork and just go around making holes, because if you don't, that pie crust will bubble up. So I'm glad you said that. But we'll be right back. All right, I'm ready to mix up the pecan pie, and I use the recipe that's in my Volume 1 cookbook on page 56. And you're gonna mix these in order of the way they're listed. So we're gonna start with 2 eggs. Here's 1. And you're gonna mix after each thing that you put in. Okay. Now you're gonna put 1/2 cup of sugar. Mix it. A tablespoon of flour.
What kind?
I used all-purpose. This is just to thicken the pie filling. 1/2 stick of butter, melted. I'm putting it in a little bit at a time because it's still a little hot, and I don't want to scramble my eggs that's in there. Okay. And we're going to do 1/2 cup of Karo syrup.
Corn syrup.
Corn syrup. And I use the white. If you wanted to use the dark, you could. And then I'm putting a cup of pecans. And of course, I use Whaley's pecans. You can go to whaleypecan.com and they ship very quickly. And the last thing is going to be a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, you can use, some people are going to say, well, can I always use pecan halves? Definitely, if that's what you like, you can use. I like mine chopped. All right, I'm going to pour this in here. I have my oven heated to 350. Now, you're going to notice in my cookbook, I tell you to start off with it on 450 degrees, and then after 10 minutes to change it to 350. But because I'm cooking this in my iron skillet, I think I'm just going to do it 350 until it's done, and I'll let you know exactly how long. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. It is so pretty too. I just took it out of the oven. So it is, you know, it's firm, but it's got to cool before I can cut it. But it cooked 40 minutes in my oven. So I would say anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes, depending on your oven. And I love that it's in my iron skillet. We'll have this to, later on after it cools. But just wanted you to see how pretty that is. Thank y'all for joining me. Remember to be salt and light, and I'll be back soon.